What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here and we are live. Yeah, we had to push the stream back a little bit this morning, but we're still here. John Matrix from Black and White Sports will probably join us a little bit later. He had a couple things to take care of this morning. But before he gets here, we do have Beardo. What's going on, Fear at the Beardo?
Nothing much, man. Pretty much the same thing. I'm actively on a campaign to try to get Alyssa Mercante to block me. She just won't do it. Doesn't matter how many times I call her a bitch or I make fun of her on streams or I tweet at her. She just refuses to block me, and it's starting to irritate me.
I've never even had a Twitter interaction with her, and she blocked me when this whole thing kicked off. So
yeah, no,
you know?
she just won't. She just won't block me. I don't know why.
Not big enough. You got to do maybe make a standalone.
Dude,
video
there's people that have 50 followers that on Twitter that she blocks.
Maybe she knows it bothers you. So it's better if you just get left unblocked. It
it's probably because I'm asking for it. I'm asking for her to block me, so she's not going to block me.
That is the one time, like, if somebody is like trying to get me to block them, I'm probably not going to.
Yeah,
just it'll give them satisfaction.
Yeah,
but that's the way it is. We were talking a little bit before the stream about your New York Giants and how, you know, they pretty much anybody that goes there, you might as well just write their career off as over. It's fucking done. That's what happened to Darren Waller. Darren Waller, this guy who, you know, everybody's like, holy shit, look at what he's doing at the tight end position. This guy's killing it with the Raiders. You know, heads over to the Giants and, man, oh, man, he's fucking done. Now he just quit. He just straight up said, it's not worth it. Playing for the Giants is this bad. I might as well just end my career.
I also think the whole fallout from his marriage and divorce and then that cringe music video and everybody just completely roasting him over that music video. He's going through shit. He's probably going to pick up the crack pipe again, and he's just going to be, you know what, I'm retiring from the NFL. I'm just going to be a full-blown drug addict again.
Maybe.
Potentially. I mean, we didn't ruin Golden Tate's career, but he went to New York to die as well. So, anyways, yeah.
We got Daniel Jones healthy. You know,
I think he's healthy. I mean, he's unfortunately, he's not going to be the same guy he was. You know, we like to make fun of Daniel Jones. I don't know if you've seen the side-by-sides after Trevor Lawrence got his new contract extension. Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones are pretty much the same fucking quarterback.
Yeah, like that when you look at some of their numbers and some of the stuff side by side for the first couple of years,
they're identical.
Trevor Lawrence got paid a massive amount of money.
And him and Joe Burrow are the highest paid quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
And then third is Herbert. And you see these, you know, obviously Mahomes, we know his contract is backloaded, so he's not making most of his money until after he's retired. But like some of the best quarterbacks in the league aren't the ones making all this money. And you see Dak wants this huge contract. He wants to make like $330 million in his next contract. And they're saying that the Giants are one of the contenders looking at Dak Prescott. Fuck you. The Giants are not going to go after Dak Prescott.
Did you see the comment he made about gambling on himself and then like very quickly clarified, like, I don't mean really gambling, just to make that clear.
I didn't see that. That's funny though.
Funny. Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, with just all the, like, you know, the controversies and stuff that have come out when it does come to gambling and players lately, he wanted to make it crystal clear. I pulled up the clip right here. This is funny. This is him talking about his contract and, you know, betting on himself and like blah, 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 all that type of stuff. Here it is.
Also some uncertainty with contracts for guys last year for you, last year for guys, every coach, all that stuff. Does it raise?
Why is he bouncing like that, man?
This is the urgency you should always have, to be honest. So maybe guys who normally wouldn't feel it. So I don't mind it. Been in this position before. I'm a gambling man. Will gamble on myself and my guys. So
I'm a gambling man.
Yes, I understand. I understand doing a lot of shit with that. So. Not that way. Just so yeah.
I didn't think that was funny though.
I'm a gambling man. I'll gamble on myself.
Not that way.
Not that way.
Look at my DraftKings, please.
Sure, Dak.
Yeah, but well, fuck. Even Dak Prescott is probably smart enough not to bet on himself based on what we've seen. It's usually a losing proposition.
Unless he's betting on for him to throw several picks in a playoff game.
This is the reality that when it comes to the quarterback position, if you are one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, you're going to fucking get paid because it's so hard to find another one.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those reasons why I was a big advocate of getting rid of Justin Fields for the Bears, for not taking up that 5th-year option. Because if you do pick up that 5th-year option, then you are basically saying that you are willing to pay the guy going forward. And what that means in this current quarterback market would be paying this dude an insane amount of fucking money.
Well,
You'd be talking about 40, 45, $50 million per year minimum for a bum like Justin Fields.
and that's exactly what the Giants did with Daniel Jones. Well, the Giants didn't pick up that 5th-year option, and we still paid him.
Yeah, you got the worst of both worlds there.
Yeah, but I mean, like you see, like Tom Brady, he's been spending a lot of time with the current rookie quarterback class. And he's been saying, like, I was never the highest paid quarterback per year when he was playing. He said he made the most amount of money in the last, like, 10 years of his career. And that's because, like, obviously he earned it. No doubt about that. But, like, he's always the guy that's like, hey, the less money that you take for yourself is more money for the rest of the team to build guys around you. And it like imagine a fascinating concept that you don't take up most of the salary cap so that you can actually spend money on putting players around you. It's fascinating that some of these young guys don't understand that. They're just chasing the bag, as these Gen Zers fucking say. But it's it's a concept that shouldn't be as difficult to understand as, you know, these young guys make it out to be. It's like, yeah, like no shit that Tom Brady, he had 2 different dynasties with the Patriots, 2 separate fucking dynasties. Like, it's one dynasty is rare enough, but Tom Brady had fucking 2 separate dynasties with the Patriots, and that's because he didn't care about being the highest paid quarterback in the league. He wanted to disperse that, you know, that salary cap throughout his teammates, and obviously it paid off for him. Same thing with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was never the highest paid player or quarterback in the league every single year because, you know, he cared about putting talent around him. And some of these, like, and look at the downfall of the Seattle Seahawks when Russell Wilson took that massive fucking contract. Well, you can't have the Legion of Boom anymore. You can't pay Cam Chancellor all that money. You can't pay Richard Sherman all that money. You can't pay Earl Thomas anymore because Russell Wilson, one single player, is now making all the money.
Yeah, and we did see that with Tom Brady. And obviously one of the things people threw out there a lot of the time was, well, you know, for Tom, who's married to supermodel wife Giselle, who probably made more than him some of those years, not necessarily end the world for him to not get everything he's worth at the time. For some guys, it's an ego thing. For some guys, it is a money thing. And quarterbacks obviously get paid a fuck ton of money. For a lot of guys, especially when it comes to people at the running back position or things like this, sometimes that second contract is really your only contract, your only time to get paid. And I don't really like, I'm never really going to fault a guy for doing something like that necessarily. I will fault them for sometimes how they go about it or trying to hold a team hostage or whatever the case may be. If they play it out in public and really fucking shit all over their team doing it, stuff like that, you can criticize. But when it comes to some of these guys, when the average, you know, NFL career is, you know, like 2.5 years or something like that, some of these guys only get one opportunity to really get paid. And when half of that money is going to taxes and 10% of it's going to your agent and things like that, sometimes it's not as much as we think it might be. But still, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Well, just look at the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. He got paid, and then they had to even go in and restructure his new contract because it was racist that he needed to study the playbook and play less Call of Duty. So they wound up taking that out.
Yeah, it was very racist to say we need to make sure we know you're studying, that you're studying game film instead of, you know, working on your KD. Keely Chow, what's with the 11:45 start? We had to push it back just a little bit because I had a couple things to take care of before the stream, so I couldn't get back quite in time. That's all it was. And then Taker for 2. Caitlin Clark kind of looks like AJ Hawk from Pat McAfee. Yes, the idea of, well, Caitlin Clark, it's just pretty privilege. That's not the fucking case. I'm not going to sit there and like be like, oh, Caitlin Clark's the ugliest motherfucker that's ever walked in a court. I'm not going to say that. I just don't think that Caitlin Clark is like stunningly beautiful or hot or anything like that. I think she's like normal looking. And the idea that people are trying to push that it's because she's hot that people are tuning in is just laughable. There are way more attractive women in the WNBA.
Yeah.
There's
Kelsey
also
Plum, and then the one Kelsey Plum, I think, is better looking than Caitlin Clark, and then the one blonde chick.
Cameron Brink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's better looking than Caitlin Clark as well.
Yeah. Now, there does happen to be a lot of ugly black lesbians in the NBA, too. That's just a reality. A lot of ugly white lesbians in the NBA. But, yeah, so maybe the bar is just lowered. So it's like compared to all these other people, Caitlin Clark is like a 10. I'm not saying Caitlin Clark's ugly. I'm not saying anything like that at all.
No,
I'm
she's
saying
an attractive woman, but
yeah, I'm just saying it.
The bar is low in the WNBA.
Yes, and it's certainly not her looks that are getting her attention. Otherwise, there would be other people that would have got more attention before her in the WNBA. I think we are live on Rumble as well. We've had some problems with the Rumble connection the past couple of weeks, so good to see we are actually live over there. That's good to see. But we brought up Tom Brady, and I think we need to address something. Despite the fact that Tom Brady went through a very public split with his wife, Giselle, during that, maybe it was the decision to come back and play, give it one more run with the Buccaneers. Maybe they had a lot of problems before. Maybe she was stepping out before. There's been a lot of speculation about how and why and exactly when that relationship soured. But one of the things that got brought up very often in the recent Netflix roast was, of course, Tom Brady's very public fallout over his very public relationship with Giselle. Tom Brady gets candid about hardest hits taken during his Netflix roast. And certainly he got roasted a shit ton, as happens during roast. Guess who else got roasted? Bill Belichick, Rob Gronkowski, pretty much every single individual that not only Tom Brady invited there or is friends with, but also as part of his life in any way, even people that came up to roast him. Everybody gets roasted. That's what a roast is for. Obviously, Giselle was one of those people that got roasted because of how and why their relationship ended up coming apart. Well, now, apparently, Giselle is blaming Tom Brady once again for a failed relationship. But it's not between her and Tom Brady. It's between her and that instructor that whether she was stepping out on him with Tom, whether their relationship started before they officially split up, whatever the case may be, a lot of criticism over her for it. That relationship is now over, and she's blaming Tom Brady's decision to allow the roast to happen.
Yep.
Giselle Bundchen's romance collapses as she turns the blame to NFL legend Tom Brady. Giselle's latest romance has quickly died out, and the Brazilian model decided to blame her ex-husband and 7-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady by pinning the problems on his Netflix appearance. The former New England Patriot appeared on a celebrity roast where his family and ex-wife became the target of a lot of jokes, for which a 43-year-old says was not well thought out by her divorced husband and left her new man, Joaquim Valente, penned to attack. Quote, she blames the break on Tom, an insider said. By agreeing to do the roast, he basically put a target on Joaquim's back. Now, Tom Brady has already responded to this. Well, not he himself, but insiders have reported to this and this and that. Tom Brady refuses to take blame for Giselle Bundchen's breakup with Joaquim Valente. And here are the quotes from there. However, according to the Daily Mail, a source in Brady's team has responded saying Bundchen blaming him is a total cop-out and he never wanted to sabotage the supermodel. Tom feels like he should take no blame for Giselle's relationship successes or struggle. He's away from it and isn't trying to sabotage anything. At the end of the day, everyone's an adult, and you're going to have to deal with relationships, whether they go good or bad, by taking it day by day. Now, I thought it was funny, all the roasts of Giselle. We roasted her a little bit on this channel when a lot of this stuff started to fall out. But this is the reality. She's a public person. She had a public relationship with someone at a time that seemed a little interesting, the timing surrounding it. I don't think Tom Brady's to blame.
No, absolutely not. And why the fuck would Tom Brady care, man? Tom Brady, for this roast, first of all, he's got to have a lot of guts to actually, go through with this roast. But he also made a lot of fucking money doing it. And it was a good time. I actually, I've seen clips the past several weeks of it. I actually took time yesterday to watch the full 3-hour roast and not even knowing that we were going to talk about it today. It was a good time. Everyone there was having a fantastic time, except for maybe Kim Kardashian, because Kim Kardashian had to pay Netflix millions of dollars to go in and edit that roast, to take out the booze for Kim Kardashian when she was announced, and then when she took the stage to tell her shitty jokes. But everybody there had a good time. Why the fuck would Tom Brady care? Like, only children actually wish ill on their ex-partners' new and future relationships. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Once you're done with a relationship, like, that's gone. Bygones be bygone. Why would you care or hope ill on the potential future success or unsuccessfulness of a relationship for your former partner? Tom Brady doesn't give a fuck. Tom Brady has more important things to do. This is just ridiculous. So I'm not surprised that Giselle is... I'm not surprised that she's putting blame on Tom Brady for not only their own relationship failure, but now on her new failure with her new, relationship with her jiu-jitsu instructor, whom she more than likely cheated on Tom Brady with. Tom Brady, he doesn't have the time for this, nor does he have the fucking care for this at all.
The one thing that I can say, like, when it does come to stuff like this, if it was Tom Brady personally going out there and kind of shit talking her, one of the things you can look at, if it's just a breakup, then whatever, maybe bad taste. If there are kids involved and they do have kids, then, you do wonder, is that okay? Like, what's it saying if you're saying that about the mother of your children? What kind of impression might you giving them? But this is a public thing. And it's not like Tom Brady was out there, hey, really make sure you bash yourself for this, bash yourself for that. It was a roast. So they brought up anything and everything. She's a fucking public person in a very public relationship. It is what it is. And you're right. The fact that she's trying to pin it on him, it's complete and total bullshit. But there it is, Giselle, the relationship that she felt, was more worthwhile than staying with Tom Brady. That's all over. And she's back to square one.
Well, and I believe this year, because they've already been split up for a while now, for Mother's Day, he made a post about her saying about how good of a mother she was. Like, they were already separated, going through this divorce, or whether they are divorced. He made an Instagram post, I believe, about how great of a fantastic mother that she was, and he's glad that she is the mother of his kids.
Yeah.
So he's been taking the high road.
Yeah.
I have not heard Tom Brady say one negative thing about Giselle for her personality or anything throughout their split. Like, not one thing has he said. He's taken the high road and he's been nothing but nice. But now Giselle's like, oh yeah, well, my new relationship with my guy who I committed adultery with on my superstar husband Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the reason for that breakup too. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and like I said, it'd be different if he was out there maybe publicly bashing her or something, but that wasn't the case at all. So I don't think Shirley has a leg to stand on.
No, absolutely not.
We do have, he's finally here, John Matrix from Black and White Sports. What's up, John?
What's going on? Just made it back in, and I'm happy to be here.
Good to have you here, man. Good to have you here. We're just talking about the Tom Brady Giselle stuff.
Yeah.
She's blaming him for
dumped her.
dumped her ass, probably for a younger girl.
Could be.
Like, even it's funny because now all these jokes are resurfacing in comments that Gronk had at the roast, where he knew that Bill Belichick was dating that 24-year-old cheerleader at the time.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Even Tom Brady said something at the very end. He goes, and Bill Belichick getting caught sneaking out of that poor girl's house at 6 a.m., 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm almost certain that was also, he was probably talking about Bill Belichick's current girlfriend.
Maybe.
There's a 48-year age gap between Belichick and his girlfriend.
But look at Robert Kraft. Isn't his wife like in her 20s or something like that too, or 30s?
I don't know if he's married.
All these fucking billionaires and they're all dating.
I thought he got married.
Other than Mark Davis, all of them are dating like young models and shit.
Let's see here.
Well, Mark Davis just got a young chick pregnant.
That is not true, actually.
Not true?
Which is why I said that. That's what everybody said, and she had to come out and make a public statement and just be like, there's so many rumors out there. He is not the father of this child. This is
Okay.
about like I'm not involved with him in any way. I went to one game 3 years ago, and ever since then, everyone's been pretending I'm fucking this guy.
Gotcha.
It was
Okay.
pretty funny,
okay.
actually.
I stand corrected then.
But like,
Robert Kraft's wife is 33 years younger than him, so
Okay.
she's what is he like 80 or something like that?
He's up there.
Yeah,
He's up there.
that's the life if you're rich.
she's 49 or
Okay. Well, that's not as bad.
no.
Kyle Cap, what do you guys think about Stephen A. Smith? Is he woke or does he make sense? He goes back and forth between woke takes and takes that make sense. Like
Stephen A. Smith is a
It
bitch.
depends. It depends on what he's talking about. If he's on First Take, if he's on his show, Stephen A. can actually, give some good points. But other times he'll go down the woke path as well. It just kind of depends.
it's hard to know when he's genuine and when he's just
Right.
when he's saying what he thinks he needs to say to keep his black rep and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I don't think there's a genuine
think-
nerve in his body. Did you see the clip of him showing up to Game 4 of the finals?
He always walks around like he thinks he's fucking Michael Jordan or something.
Dude, he walked into Game 4 of the finals like he was about to drop 50 on both teams. Like he thinks that he's about to step. Like he's so fucking cringe, dude.
Here, somebody sent me this yesterday. This one right here.
Yes.
Looks like he got a limp.
He's doing
That pimp walk.
Yeah, he's doing the pimp walk too. What's he fucking doing, man? Taking deep breaths, like he's. Come on, bro. Dude, he thinks he's the main character.
He's not playing. But we do have to get into that. We have to set the stage first with some of the more recent Caitlin Clark shit that's gone down, because apparently that is the most important story in sports, based on how much drama and how much random shit we've heard about it over the last couple days. I did want to get to this. All right, here we go. We're going to talk about the Caitlin Clark stuff first. Some of the accusations leveled against WNBA players, including girlfriends of her fucking teammates. And then inevitably what the response has been from other people in the media, like Stephen A. Smith. Obviously, Caitlin Clark has continued to be one of the biggest stories in sports, despite the fact that, as was revealed by some WNBA executives a few days ago, the WNBA is still set to lose money this year. They are still set to lose potentially $50 million this year, despite all the Caitlin Clark hype. That's not enough to make this dying league profitable, at least not yet. But we have continued to see the media pressure Caitlin Clark. We continue to see WNBA players pressure Caitlin Clark to say this or say that or whatever. So when Caitlin Clark the other day was asked about, her name being used in culture war movements and everything like that, she gave a perfect response, which was to say, I'm just here to play basketball. I don't care about any of that other shit. Caitlin Clark on her name being used in culture wars. I'm just here to play basketball. People can talk about what they want to talk about, creating conversations about whatever it is. That did not sit very well with people in the media who say silence is violence, with woke lunatics who continue to be pissed off that Caitlin Clark, a white, straight female, is making the WNBA more relevant than it's ever been before. As a result, we got this tweet from a WNBA player. Oh, and by the way, the girlfriend of one of her Indiana Fever teammates. Right here, Dejanay Victoria, dog. How can one not be bothered by their name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and intersectionalities of them all is nuts. We all see the shit. We all have a platform. We all have a voice, and they all hold weight. Silence is a luxury.
Who is this?
Now, this is Dejanay Carrington, who plays for the Connecticut Sun. The
fuck is she?
girlfriend of Nalissa Smith, who plays for the Indiana Fever. Go ahead, John.
I was like, who the fuck is she? I have no idea who she is.
Well, spoiler
Bingo.
alert, we wouldn't know who a lot of these fucking dumb bitches are if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. Like that could be a blessing and a curse. A lot of these people, we only know their names, like Angel Reese, like that Kennedy Carter chick, and now the Dejanay Carrington. That the only reason we know who you are, that you play for the Connecticut Sun, is because you are pissed off that Caitlin Clark is relevant and you're trying to make it all about race and homosexuality. What do you know? A black lesbian who's mad that Caitlin Clark's getting so much attention, almost like it's something we've been saying. When the aftermath of that, the media goes to Caitlin Clark and hammers her, basically says, hey, your name is being your name is being used to promote racism and homophobia. You have to say something about this.
I hate this. I fucking hate this.
Here's the response.
I hate this.
I know you mentioned that, you want to focus straight on basketball. Definitely respect that. But when, just asking you directly, when people...
Caitlin, I know you said you want to focus on basketball, and I respect that, but I'm going to continue to ask you one-sided questions to force you and guilt you into response.
Use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever. Yeah. What is your response to that specifically?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is the league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated. And I think it's, very simple.
The people that I think need that speech are the people in the WNBA that hate Caitlin Clark.
Bingo.
Yeah.
People in the media that hate Caitlin Clark, who for months and months and months and months have stacked this on top of her, trying to take her down, trying to expose her in some way, trying to do all of this and all of that. And here's inevitably like the path that we lead to. Her asked a very bait question, and her trying to walk around a little bit, mostly just focus on, hey, I admire a lot of women in this league.
The irony is strong here because it's only because of the people like Jamil Hill and other athletes in the WNBA who started this bullshit fucking narrative, this bullshit argument about Caitlin Clark and the racism and misogyny, whatever. No. You started this fucking thing, and now you've got people riled up because of your fucking retardation and your mental fucking gymnastics. With all this, and now you have people with actual logic going out and exposing the fucking idiotic fucking things that you're saying, and now all of a sudden you're the victim. You're the victim because your retarded statements are now being counteracted and now being proven as fucking retardation. Now, all of a sudden now you're the victim for having an opinion. Now they're, like you said, they're now giving Caitlin Clark one-sided questions about this just because she has fans who are fucking logical, who are backing her up, supporting her, actually giving business to the WNBA because they like her style of gameplay. They like the way that she plays. It's not because that she's super good looking or anything. It's because she's fucking talented. And now you have actually more eyes than ever on the WNBA, and you have fucking retards who actually have a fucking platform like Jamil Hill and others like Stephen A. Smith who are saying absolute fucking nonsense, but now they're the victim because of their skin color, and now they're going to go to Caitlin Clark and pin the blame on her and her fans. The irony is fucking strong, and it's fucking bullshit that they're going after Caitlin Clark for this and not pointing the finger at Stephen A. Smith and Jamil Hill and other fucking retards in the WNBA. It's fucking nonsense.
I told you, these women in the WNBA, they want to be victims more than getting paid.
Yeah.
Because that's their identity, man. Their identity is victimhood. Now, I missed the part. Maybe you two white guys can actually enlighten me on this.
We'll white explain to you, John, yeah.
Where's the racism at? Angle.
It's non-existent.
Apparently, if you call out individuals who seem to be acting with racial motivations, like race baiters like Jamel Hill, like the laundry list of people we've seen, like the people in the media that have been saying the only reason Caitlin Clark is getting success is because she's white, You know, like if you counter that narrative and push back against that, apparently that's what they mean. Because to me, I saw Nina in the chat. She said she would ask for an example. I would ask for that too and say, where, like, who is being a racist, misogynist, bigot, whatever? Who's talking about that in my name? Because it seems to me like a lot of hate's coming towards me. That's because of maybe my sexuality or my race. That's how I see it. But I like her saying that would be like a crazy thing. She has tried to stay as out of it as possible. But you have WNBA players tweeting who are, again, the girlfriend of her teammate with the Indiana Fever is tweeting shit like that. And now that's all getting brought into the fold.
Because I'm pretty sure you guys know that they really want to blame white men for the racism. But what demographic actually watches the WNBA the most?
Men.
White men.
Yeah, probably white men.
It's like, no, they actually came out with a stat. It was like 65% of people that watch the WNBA, men. Women are not watching the WNBA.
Well, I mean, who can blame them? Almost nobody really does. And even with Caitlin Clark there, it's still not really, it's breaking records for them. But like we said, they're still looking to be $50 million in the hole this season with all these records being broken, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah,
and
if they keep going the way they're going, they're going to lose $100 million next year. They don't want fans. No,
100%. And with all the backlash we've seen towards Caitlin Clark, especially a lot of this more recent stuff, her being forced to say something and speak out. Can you believe these people are using your name for a culture war? When the reality is, as we've seen, the media has been attacking Caitlin Clark in their culture war for the past months. Months after month, they're coming after her nonstop. Even though Stephen A. Smith stood up for Caitlin Clark and defended her for things like being left off the Team USA basketball, when it got this involved with racism and bigotry and misogyny, old Stephen A. Smith was forced to come out, and I don't know, he thinks he needs to keep his black card. Maybe this is what he genuinely thinks. I don't know really what he genuinely thinks at all at this point. I think he just decides day by day what he's going to fucking talk about. Stephen A. Smith decided to go off on a wild rant and tangent on ESPN, connecting racist Donald Trump supporters who want to make America white again to the support and the discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark. Make America white again. Stephen A. Smith argues Caitlin Clark discourse highlights racial divide in America. Stephen A. Smith invokes Donald Trump while discussing racial aspect of Caitlin Clark controversies. And hear from Outkick David Hookstead. And Stephen A. Smith actually retweeted this article because he was so mad and butthurt about it. Stephen A. unleashes rambling rant about racism, Caitlin Clark, and Donald Trump. Might as well let this motherfucker speak.
But there's a broader issue here that can't be escaped. And that is this. She is a white young lady. And she's been a magnet in a way that has benefited the league in ways that others have not, even though their efforts have been worthy and deserving of being as celebrated, if not even more celebrated. And
that's what a lot of this comes down to. You've got a lot of jealous women in the WNBA that are mad that Caitlin Clark is getting more attention than they ever got. They don't think she's deserving, whether it's because she's a rookie, whether it's because they do have a problem with her race and her sexuality. That's one of the reasons that these women are jealous. And he just admitted it right there. There's women that don't think they got enough attention compared to Caitlin Clark.
It's a reminder that no matter how far we believe that we have advanced as a society, there's still such a long way to go, because in the end, if you're white, you're bright, you're right, and as a result, the shine comes your way in the eyes of a lot of people in America. Let's transition.
Can you, just fucking think about that? Who are, if you look over the past, I don't know, decade plus in the NBA, who do you think has probably generated the most excitement when it comes to basketball fans of across everyone? I would say it's probably maybe a guy like Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry, massively popular, really changed the way the game was played a little bit with his three-point shooting. And guess what? There's a lot of white people that are fans of Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not white. Like, that's weird, isn't it? Let's go back in time. What about Michael fucking Jordan? What about even bitch-ass LeBron James? What about Kobe fucking Bryant? Weren't there a lot of white people who fucking love those guys? I'm one of them. Not LeBron James, obviously. He's a fucking cocksucking bitch. But all the other ones, of course. I love MJ. I love Kobe Bryant.
Let's just call it what it is, man. When it comes to the NBA, the most popular players, forget best players, most popular players of all time are all black. They're all black.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
How about in baseball? The one and only unanimous voted in Hall of Famer ever was Mariano Rivera. Not a white dude. Yeah. And Major League Baseball, who watches Major League Baseball here in America? White guys.
Yep. He's a black Latino.
Ken Griffey should have been there too.
Ken Griffey should have.
Yep.
Who was the dumbass that did not vote him in on the first ballot? I'm curious about that.
Well, same thing with Derek Jeter. Even though
Ken Griffey was a way better player than Derek Jeter, though. So.
Right.
100%.
But who's America's favorite golfer? America's favorite golfer?
Tiger Woods.
Doesn't matter how many times he cheats. It's Tiger fucking Woods, all right?
Who is the most popular NFL player right now? Patrick Mahomes. So
wasn't Serena Williams a bit-time star in tennis when she played?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's black, right?
Last time I checked.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, also in WNBA, there was other white players that came in with bit-time resumes in college. They didn't move the needle.
Who are the two most popular home run hitters ever in Major League Baseball? Hank Aaron and Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. They're black.
Yeah, so this is like such a foolish statement by retarded Stephen A. Smith to claim that there's just such a big percentage of people that only like athletes when they're white.
And by the way,
go ahead.
I was going to say something real quick. Since you brought up Hank Aaron, when he broke Babe Ruth's home run record, right? Mm-hmm. There was talk about, these white supremacists don't like it. When he broke the record, there were fans running onto the field.
They were storming the field.
And they were white guys congratulating him.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how that works.
Yep.
Very uncomfortable to touch on, but just factually correct. You have somebody that's a presidential candidate. What is his claim to fame? Make America great again. What have people interpreted that to mean? Make America white again. These
bullshit.
Maybe you guys have.
Bullshit.
Like, maybe you guys on the screen interpret that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the way the vast majority of Donald Trump supporters think.
That was really dumb of Stephen A. to say right there.
That's out of pocket. You know what I mean? Like, why is he even bringing that up at this point?
Yeah.
Critics have said he has his supporters spanning the tens of millions. There are others on the other side having tens of millions of the supporters on their side. What has that led to? A divide. It is not a divide that is created. It is a divide that's illuminated because it's highlighting and showing that it's been in existence all along. It hasn't gone anywhere. As we travel for the NBA Finals, and Shanae is here with yours truly and Kendrick Perkins and Brian Windhorst and stuff like that. Yeah, in the city of Dallas, we're chilling, this metropolis, and, we're having a good time. Go to some of the outskirts of Texas. Go to some of the outskirts of Florida. Go to some of the outskirts of various places throughout this country, and you see places that ain't trying to hear all of that. It was the way that it was, and we ain't trying to change it for anybody. We holding on to this, whatever that it may be.
What are you trying to fucking say?
What is he saying?
He's saying you go out in the country in some of these places, there's just a lot of people that are evil hicks that don't like blacks. That's basically
what he's saying. You eat on your section of the restaurant. You drink out of the black water fountain. It's like, how about in these universities where they want black only dormitories? They want black only classrooms.
Let me debunk that real quick here, because I'm right out here in Houston. I used to live in Cypress, a suburb, northwest Harris County. A lot of white people, very conservative. and their rep is Wesley Hunt's a black guy who they voted in. Black conservative. But no. Racism, we can't have black people.
It's just complete bullshit from him. And it's all in this rambling take to maybe he's defended Caitlin Clark too much. Maybe that's what's going on. And there's a lot of black people in the media that are mad that Stephen A. Smith defended her a little bit. And now maybe he's doing this to get in their good graces again. I'm not sure.
And as a result of that, we find ourselves on too many occasions witnessing the conflict that we thought had subsided, that we thought had evaporated before our very eyes. And what we've learned is it has not. It has not. So when Carrington spoke up, I got where she was coming from. I certainly don't hold Caitlin Clark accountable for that. But what Caitlin Clark has to understand is that it's not really you personally. It's you, the figure. It's you, the prop per se, that is being utilized to a
dumb bitch just nodding along.
You're right, Stephen A. You're right. No, fuck that. And no, and even what he's saying, it's still wrong. You can't put any of that on Caitlin Clark. You can't. It's fucking retarded, man. Because that.
Go ahead.
Nah, I don't want to go there. I mean, I don't know. Not on this show. Not on this show.
A bigger point. If we could do it, everybody has done it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others were trying to make things happen in the 50s, in the 60s. Rosa Parks refusing to give us a seat up on a bus. Everybody knows that was something that was orchestrated because a bigger issue needed to be addressed, and they had to find the right person to address it.
Yeah, your beloved Democrats were doing all that.
He's not making any sense here.
No, he's not.
What are we talking about? We are talking about Caitlin Clark being attacked by black women in the WNBA, a lot of black lesbians in the WNBA, and a lot of black members of the mainstream media. That is somehow being twisted around in a rant that is saying that people that are supporting Caitlin Clark are racist, that Donald Trump supporters are racist, that, remember what Martin Luther King Jr. did? Remember what Rosa Parks did for the civil rights movement? That's what a lot of these black, lesbian, ugly motherfuckers are doing because they have to speak out against Caitlin Clark and all the white fans. Like, what's the point of this rant?
The only people that have brought up race in this Caitlin Clark argument are these people right here.
Yep.
Are people like Stephen A., like, who are bitching about it because she's white. We're not saying like people who, I don't watch the WNBA. None of us probably watch the WNBA. People who are watching the WNBA now aren't watching, because finally a good white athlete in the WNBA. That's not why. It's because Caitlin Clark is entertaining. It's because she's fucking good. She's actually talented. She can shoot a 3-pointer. Like that is why people are watching the WNBA now, because she is exciting to watch. But then we have dumb motherfuckers who are saying, well, people are only watching it because she's white. Now, Caitlin Clark, answer to that. Answer my opinion of this dumbass statement I just made about people are only watching because you're white. Here, now answer the question. When that has nothing to fucking do with it.
And throughout history, we've seen a plethora of things transpire and take place where an individual had the light shined on them, and it was orchestrated and plotted and planned because a bigger message and a bigger issue needed to be addressed, but the right person needed to come along to give us the license to address it. And it might not have been through their own volition, but it happens. Caitlin Clark is a wonderful basketball player who I think is going to be a star in this league. And she is box office, and she does generate ratings, and all of those things are true. But the fact that she is a young white lady and the world has gravitated to her the way that they have, in a way they have done for no one else in the 28-year history of the WNBA, and Lord knows how long Team USA has been into existence, it's just further evidence of the times that we're living in, but most importantly, the times we've been living in, and the progress that purportedly has been made, although it has existed to some degree, doesn't negate the fact that we can't gloss over the reality of what we're exposed to every single day. That is what Janae has spoken about. That is what Carrington was alluding to. That is what a plethora of people within the WNBA and within the world is alluding to today. Yo, y'all, there's still a lot of work to be done because things haven't changed nearly as much as we would like to believe.
This is nuts.
What?
But this is a rant that is kicked off because Caitlin Clark, when asked a baiting question, said, listen, I just really focus on basketball. I don't see too much of that other stuff. I'm just here to play basketball. That's it.
It's so stupid.
And you have these people that are furious that she's not admitting to her own white guilt or something like that. Now you got Stephen A. making it about civil rights, about Donald Trump, about everything else. This is really just pathetic.
Did he just say that things haven't changed?
Not as much as we thought they had.
What? This man is the face of ESPN, and Shanae is on there with him as well. Wow.
Do you guys remember when RG3 and Andrew Luck were rookies? They were rookies the same year. And Stephen A. got suspended from ESPN because he said that RG3's blackness was good for the NFL. And he got fucking suspended.
Yeah, Rob Parker said something too, right? Also about RG3.
Probably.
Kind of calling him a cornball or something like that.
Stephen A. in this statement, let me break it down in another hypothetical situation here, a hypothetical scenario. Imagine, let's go to a completely different sport and completely different races in this. Imagine if you have an Asian, sports broadcaster saying, "Oh well, Canelo, all these Mexican fans who are flocking to boxing and they love boxing now because of Canelo. Canelo, why do your fans hate Koreans? That's how fucking stupid it is. Why do Mexicans hate Koreans, Canelo? Because they didn't watch boxing as much with Manny Pacquiao, but they sure like to watch you, Canelo. Why do your fans hate Asians?" That's literally what he's fucking saying right here. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's insane. So we had to call this stuff out. Over on the super chats, we got Cole Hauser for 2. Stephen A. Smith is a dumbass rigga with TDS. Thank you, Cole Hauser. Zenny Biscuit for 5. 2022 Derby winner Rich Strike is out of retirement and might be making his 5-year-old debut soon with trainer Bill Mott. Well, there you go. Very cool. Thank you for letting us know, Zenny Biscuit. The Raven Writing Desk member for 2 months. Happy Father's Day, boys. Thanks for the content. Hey, we do what we can. Happy Father's Day
to all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day. Yep.
Absolutely. Mike Hill for 5. Wonder what the ratings for Caitlin Clark Angel Reese game will be for today's game. Probably pretty good.
It's going to be big.
And Angel Reese will probably take all the credit for it if we've seen anything from them. Your Barmy for 5. He makes implications. Too coward to be blatant. Stephen A. is a coward. He is. Hayden for $10. What's up, Hayden? They always accuse us of what they're doing, and then they say it's your fault. The cult isn't allowed to be introspective or ask questions. If they do, they must be silenced or reaffirm. Yeah, it's really all bullshit. But we do have somebody else in the media who stood up for Caitlin Clark, who is a black man, and that is Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley has been a massive piece of what TNT has done with inside the NBA over the last several years. That is the preeminent pregame show and postgame show when we're talking about basketball. People love watching TNT to watch Ernie, Charles, Kenny, Shaq, and them just joke around while also talking about basketball. We've known that there does seem to be a problem with the negotiations, and it looks like that Warner Brothers not going to be able to get those rights back for the NBA. And that's like people ask the question, what's going to happen inside the NBA? Is it really going to be over after next year? According to Charles Barkley, he says that regardless what happens, he is fucking done. Charles Barkley says next season will be his last on TV, no matter what happens with NBA media deals. And do I think a lot of this is likely because he knows that it's probably going to be the last year at TNT anyway? I think probably that is the case. But he was guesting on ESPN during the finals broadcast, and he just came right out and said it.
I want to say this because you guys are my family. I really love TNT, all the people who work here, NBA television. You guys been great to me for 24 years. And I just want to say thank you to my entire NBA family. I love you guys. There's been a lot of noise around our network the last few months. And I just want to say, I've talked to all the other networks, but I ain't going nowhere other than TNT. But I have made the decision myself, no matter what happens, next year is going to be my last year on television. And I just want to say thank you to my NBA family. You guys been great to me. My heart is full with joy and gratitude. But I'm going to pass the baton at the end of next year. I hope the NBA stays with TNT. But for me personally, I wanted you guys to hear from me because I'm not doing any more interviews. Don't y'all be calling me. Nobody calling me. I'm not talking about this again, but I want to tell my NBA and NBA TV and TNT family that I'm not going to another network, but I'm going to pass the baton to either Jamal Crawford or Vince Carter or you, Steve. But next year, I'm going to just retire after 25 years, and I just want to say thank you, and I wanted y'all to hear from me first.
Now, that was on, I think I might have said ESPN. That was on the NBA TV broadcast they're doing from the finals, which is part of that network that he's been associated with TNT under Warner Brothers. But that's a massive, shocking announcement. He's been doing it a long time. All these guys have been doing it a long time. And there's a reason that people like that show more than they like the ESPN shit. They have for a very long time. It's going to be a sad day if that actually does happen. Because that group of people, no matter who he gets replaced with, it's not going to be the same without Charles Barkley.
No, I mean, Charles, man, he is probably the most unique personality in NBA history. I mean, he's always said what was on his mind. And when it comes to him being in the studio, especially on Inside the NBA, man, he would just go out there. He would shit on players if they just sucked. And he wouldn't apologize for it. He wasn't trying to be anybody's friend. And that's what I liked about Charles Barkley, man. He brought that, the same way he played on the court, he brought it into the broadcast booth as well. So, sad day, man. Charles, 61 years old. He actually looks good for his age, too, by the way.
They showed a picture of what the other guys look like when he joined. Charles looks very close to the same. Kenny looks pretty different. Ernie looks a lot different than he used to, in 1997 or 98, whenever the hell that was.
Shaq looks way different than when he was with the Celtics.
Yeah.
When he was old and fat.
No, obviously, like Barkley, he puts his foot in his mouth sometimes to some really dumb shit, especially when he gets into fucking politics. He says some things that make a lot of sense every once in a while. But when it comes to the basketball show and the basketball shit, that's going to be missed because we've seen some of the criticism. We've seen the criticism for the shows, the halftime shows, everything we've seen from ESPN in this playoff run is going to be more shit like that if eventually the guys from inside the NBA all hang it up.
Yeah. For me, I grew up in a different era. I mean, of course, TNT was always on there. Now it's going to be on Amazon. But a good thing for people of my generation, the NBA is back on NBC. So you're getting Round Ball Rock back, the John Chess theme. That was, NBA on NBC was massive in the 1990s. There was nothing like that.
Yeah, that theme song, bring that theme song back. Come on.
It's coming back.
But yeah, that's the end of an era. Charles actually does hang him up for sure. Thank you for the 900 people almost that have been watching us over on YouTube, the 200 people over on Rumble. We appreciate that, guys. I wanted to talk about one more thing, which was, listen, Aaron Rodgers always involved in some type of drama way before the whole COVID thing or Joe Rogan podcast or Pat McAfee show stuff. The past 2 decades, Aaron Rodgers has always been in some drama of some sort. Usually it's involving him and the team and the media in some way. That's happening again because Aaron Rodgers missed mandatory training camp, mandatory mini camp for the New York Jets. Now, word has it he's on some vacation, that he's out of the country. I don't know if we've been able to get any clarification or verification on why that is. Colin Cowherd dropped that he knows, but he wasn't going to burn his source, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is it's not a great look for Aaron Rodgers. Coming off what we saw happen, coming off that terrible Achilles injury opening night with so much expectation on the Jets, then what happened with the Jets season. now that he's coming back and that he's healthy, that he's ready for all of this, and this team that's got a lot of people in the media picking at them all the time, for him to miss this mandatory training camp to the point where he is getting fined by the team and all this stuff, I really think it's a stupid decision for Aaron Rodgers.
It's definitely not a smart decision, but it doesn't bother me all that much.
No,
I don't.
I mean,
it doesn't bother me. Dude is
it's
in
the
his
off
what?
season.
This is
He's
his
40.
Yeah, it's his 20th season. He is coming off of an Achilles injury. Maybe he doesn't want to put that much strain on his injured heel. And, you know, if he's comfortable in the offense and he already knows the guys that he's going to be playing with, if he's doing whatever he wants to do, if he wants to fuck off for a little bit, is it the best decision? No, but it doesn't bother me, really.
Yeah. I think that
did Tom Brady ever do this?
Tom Brady was different, though, man.
I know Tom Brady was different, which is why he had 7 Super
Right.
Bowls and Aaron Rodgers has
Yes.
fucking 1.
Tom
Yes.
Brady never did this. Peyton Manning never did this. You know who did do this?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, I was about to bring it up. And older players, they really love playing on Sundays, but they hate the grind of the off season. They hate training camp. That's why Brett Favre didn't show up. He was perfectly okay with, with showing up right before the season.
Yeah.
Those older players, man, they do not like the off season.
But then again, to Ryan's point, how many Super Bowls does Brett Favre have?
1.
Aaron Rodgers, 1.
And I think that,
Yeah.
listen, I think that Aaron Rodgers needs to be at this mandatory? No, probably not. He's Aaron fucking Rodgers.
No.
But you know who's not Aaron Rodgers? Everybody else on that team.
Yep.
Every
Yep.
one of his wide receivers. And it's not like he got a bunch of reps with them last year.
Right.
He was fucking injured all year long. Did he come out and was able to throw the ball around on the field for some of the, nationally televised pregame just to get on the news? Yes. But it's not like he's been there for the past year, getting to know these guys, running full pace routes and all this shit. That's not the case. And I think as the leader of this team, Aaron Rodgers is making a big mistake, just like he's made a lot of mistakes before, just like I criticized the fuck out of him when he was at Green Bay for making some of these decisions to play these fucking head games with the media and the team and all this shit and not being in the locker room for his teammates. And that's where he needs to be, in my fucking opinion.
I agree. No, I agree he should be there, but I don't think it's the end of the world. But I don't think it's the best decision either.
Yeah. I mean,
And I
next month is training camp, so he probably wants a little bit of time off.
And I think for a guy who already, that like the media is always wanting to pick apart Aaron Rodgers for everything he does right now. For somebody who has those eyes on him anyway, I think to give people, and this is an actually legitimate reason to criticize him and his leadership and his decision making. I think that's I think it's just a dumb, immature decision for him to make. That's really what I think. You got to lead by example. And for better or worse, when you are the quarterback of a team, that is your role. You are the leader of that team when you are the starting quarterback, and you got to lead by example. And I don't think that's a great example for everybody else on the team.
Yeah. And the reps that those wide receivers, those number ones, are going to get with whoever their backup quarterback, it's not going to be the same quality of reps that you'd be getting with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, yeah. He really hasn't worked with those receivers at all. Remember when Brady went to Tampa Bay? Now, granted, that was COVID and all of the other stuff, but it was kind of a struggle in the beginning. It took them a little while before they started clicking. Yeah, of course they won the Super Bowl, but it wasn't right off the bat smooth. Mm-hmm. So we have to see what happens.
And some people are speculating even in chat, well, maybe he's hurt, maybe he wants a little. If that's the case, then he can go there and he can still do walkthroughs and stuff like that. He doesn't need to do all the full motion reps. He doesn't need to be going hard or whatever. Yeah. He should be there to continue interacting and getting as many reps as he reasonably can with all the young guys on that team that he hasn't had any experience with.
Yeah.
And also being there with the training staff so that the training staff can get accustomed to what kind of injury he's facing or whatever, so that they know going forward into this 2024 season what to expect and how to treat Aaron Rodgers with whatever lingering injury he has.
Is this his last season?
Has to be.
I'm thinking it's probably his last season.
It all depends, man. I think it all. Yeah,
I think he's done.
I think whether the Jets miss the playoffs, whether they have an early exit in the playoffs, a heartbreaking exit, or if they win the Super Bowl, I think he's done. Either way, he's done.
What the worst thing that can happen to Aaron Rodgers this year
is if he gets injured again?
No. The worst thing that can happen to Aaron Rodgers is if they come out and he's healthy and they go 7-10 or 8-9.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to look back to all the time he spent, going on different podcasts or different appearances or out in the fucking woods doing ayahuasca or missing mandatory training camp to gallivant around Europe for who knows what fucking reason right now and say, man, maybe should have been a little bit more focused on playing football.
Hanging out with
that's
Robert Kennedy.
And a lot of that's
they may
not
say
fair,
he
right?
should have got the
These
jab.
guys have a lot of time to do a lot of different things and a lot of different appearances. But it's not good because he's setting the stage to make that an easy thing that people can look at and blame him. And I think that that's foolish of him.
Yeah.
But I thought Aaron Rodgers did a lot of really fucking dumb things and foolish things, especially those last couple years in Green Bay that have nothing to do with his COVID shit, nothing to do with anything like that. And all to do with, this is kind of the way he's always been. He's always really wanted a little bit of extra attention. He's always wanted to send a message this way, not appear in camp to make Green Bay wonder, does he really want to come back? Blah, blah, blah. He's always done shit like this. That's who Aaron Rodgers is. And like I said, it's probably the reason why he's one of the biggest underachievers we've ever seen in the history of football.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's not playing for the Packers anymore. Taker for 2. Read that Zach Wilson might beat out Bo Nix in Denver. Maybe. They're probably the same age. They're probably the same fucking age, to be honest with you. But Zach Wilson has some experience. It's not good experience as a starting quarterback, but he does have a little more experience than Bo Nix does in the NFL. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then Emilio, our man Emilio, gives 5 gifted memberships.
Shout out.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Someone says Bo Nix is actually older.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He might be. Bo Nix age. He's 24. Zach Wilson's probably 25, right? Zach Wilson's also 24. And Zach Wilson's been in the NFL for 3 years now?
This is his... No, Trevor Lawrence, so this is his 4th year.
Yes, he's been in the NFL for 3 years. This will be his 4th.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild. Lance for $5. It will never not be funny when leftards were saying he wouldn't have got injured if he got the jab, as if it gives you super durability. Yeah, it doesn't even give you protection from COVID, let alone any kind of other durability.
Just ask DeMar Hamlin if it gives you any added protection.
DeMar Hamlin. Listen, DeMar Hamlin got a lot of fucking attention for a dude that was a piece of shit player. You know what I mean? We have never seen so much hype for a dude who probably, averages like 5 tackles a season or something than we got for DeMar Hamlin. Let's see. And I think we're all caught up there. I think we're all caught up on Rumble. We've been going for about an hour, guys. It's usually the length of this show. We do have NBA. Oh, let's talk NBA final. I know you guys probably been watching. I've been watching the NBA finals, and the first 2 games pretty disappointing. Last game, a massive blowout for Dallas. You did have game 3, which I think the refs made it's hard to say it wasn't a right blocking call when Luka fouled out, but you can't. I don't know if you can blow that type of in between foul when you're going to take the best player on the floor out in the last 3 minutes. It's really fucking difficult, especially considering some of the no calls they made throughout the rest of the game. But the Dallas Mavericks went down 3-0. They're now 1-1 game, so it's 3-1. Anything's possible. I don't think they're going to come back. I do think Boston is definitely the better team. Not having Kristaps Porzingis changes things, but Boston is still the better team.
Are they still doing the 3-2-3-2 format? So this game is in Dallas.
No, it should be Boston. They stopped doing the traditional NBA finals.
It's 2-2-1-1-1-1, right?
Okay, I always like that better than 2-3-2.
It used to be for a long time they did 2-3-2. That had a lot to do with travel restrictions and things like that. Like the NBA didn't want to pay to fly back and forth that much, so they would do 2 games at one team, 3 games at another, and then 2 games. I also think that 2-3-2 is advantageous to the away team because if you steal one at home,
Still one, you can try to go for.
You can close it
the
out and
gentleman's
not leave
sweep.
home again.
Yeah.
You know, so I think competitive balance wise, 2-2-1-1-1 is better.
Yeah.
But we will have, I think it's tomorrow night. It's going to be at Boston, game 5. I do think they're going to close it out. But I hope Dallas can continue to make it a good series. I got nothing against either one of these teams. I'd love to see Luka get a ring. But at the same time, those guys in Boston, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, like they've been together for a while, just fighting and grinding and seemingly getting better and resilient. So I think if they do win a ring this year, it'll be deserved. Even though the run they had to go on through the East, not all that competitive when you look at some of the injuries all the teams they ended up facing had to deal with.
If Dallas can force a game 6, I think that they have a chance for sure.
No one's ever come back from a 3-0
Nobody's
deficit
come from
in the playoffs,
3.
period, in the NBA. So they'd be making history in more ways than one if they were able to do that.
Yeah.
But it ain't 3-0 anymore. It's 3-1. We have seen teams come back from 3-1. So if you think about it like that, then you're saying there's a chance. But with that being said, we're going to close it out there, guys. Beardo, what do you got going on?
I'm going to fire up a gaming stream here in a little bit, play some Metal Gear Solid. And then that's pretty much about it for me today.
Sounds good. What about you, John?
Same old, same old. Drop some videos later on. That's about it.
What are you smoking up today, John?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nope. Man, it's hot out here, man.
It is. Oh, actually,
it's really hot.
I didn't even, so John, I was in Houston on Friday night for like 24 hours. Somebody got Astros tickets, and I went and saw your Astros play.
Oh yeah.
At Minute Maid. I was only there for, so I didn't even say, I had no time to do anything while I was in town. But so yeah, I went and saw the Astros play. That was when they won against Detroit before they got fucking blown out of the water last night. But I did get to catch a game of your Astros in Minute Maid Park. I wanted to hear the trash cans for myself.
Oh god. Never heard of trash can, man. That's a nice ballpark. Dude.
It is. It's cool. It's way fucking. It's more hot in there than it should be, though. What the fuck? You spent all this money to make this goddamn thing. Yeah, the roof is closed. You spent all this money to make this goddamn place. It's got a roof on it. You can't even turn the AC on. But there's a lot of people in there too. Taker for 2. Isn't Houston the obesity capital of the country? Listen, according to Charles Barkley, it's those big old women down in San Antonio. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody being here. We will talk to you next week. Peace.